Hello and welcome back to Lovely, the podcast where we dive deep into the stories of love, passion and everything in between. I'm Leah, and today's tale is about a woman named Mathilde, a captivating, complex soul who danced on the edge of love and desire. She lived a life full of contradictions, seeking freedom in the arms of strangers while tethered to the life she had built. Her story is one of hunger, heartbreak, and the delicate balance between longing and fulfillment. Let's unravel the world of Mathilde together. Mathilde lingered in my mind like a haunting melody, an intoxicating blend of beauty and complexity that drew me in. She seemed to glide through life, her movements fluid and graceful, as if she were dancing to a rhythm only she could hear. Her beauty was not loud or demanding. It was a subtle whisper, an invitation to explore the depths of her soul. Our first encounter felt electric, charged with an unspoken tension that hung in the air like perfume. As we settled into a corner of the crowded cafe, I couldn't help but notice how she seemed to retreat into her thoughts, her eyes wandering past the chatter and clinking of cups, searching for something just out of reach. It was in that moment that she began to share her secrets, her voice low and sultry, drawing me closer. "I live 2 lives," she confessed, her gaze steady on mine. "By day, I am a perfect wife, attending soirees and playing the part. But when the sun sets, I shed my skin and become a woman of desire, a siren seeking thrills in the arms of strangers." Her words were a spell, wrapping around me, enticing me to delve deeper into her world. As she spoke of her encounters, I felt a rush of exhilaration. Mathilde recounted her adventures with a glimmer in her eye, her laughter a siren's call. "There's something delicious about seduction," she mused, her lips curling into a wicked smile. "The way a man's breath quickens, how his desire unveils something primal within him. It's like holding a piece of power, a taste of forbidden fruit." I listened, captivated as she shared stories of passionate rendezvous, each lover a fleeting moment, a chapter in her ever-unfolding narrative. "I remember one night," she said, leaning closer as if sharing a conspiratorial secret. "He was a stranger at a bar, his eyes dark and inviting. We locked gazes, and it was as if the world melted away. I knew I had to have him." Her voice dropped to a whisper, and I leaned in, hanging on her every word. We found a hidden corner, away from prying eyes. The thrill of being caught only heightened the moment. As his hands explored my body, I felt every nerve ending come alive. It was raw, primal, a dance of lust and longing. Mathilde's breath quickened as she continued, vividly recounting how she surrendered herself to the intoxicating pull of desire. "He was a sculptor, with hands that knew how to create and destroy," she murmured, her eyes glazing over as if she were transported back to that moment. As he traced my curves with his fingertips, I felt like a work of art, his canvas, his muse. Each touch ignited a fire within me, a hunger that was impossible to quell. His lips found mine, and it was a collision of souls. We lost ourselves in the heat of that night, tangled in sheets, the world outside forgotten. I remember the way he whispered my name as if it were a sacred incantation, pulling me deeper into the abyss of our shared passion. It was reckless, thrilling, and for those few hours, I was completely free. I was utterly entranced by Mathilde's tales, but it was her story of the painter that captivated me the most. "He was different," she confessed, her voice trembling slightly. "When I met him at that gallery opening, I was drawn to his calm demeanour, the way he observed the world through his art. He had a quiet intensity that made my heart race. She paused, her gaze distant as memories flickered in her mind. We spoke for hours, sharing our thoughts on art, life, and everything in between. I could see the way he looked at me, hunger lurking beneath his gentle exterior. It was intoxicating, as if he could see through the facade I wore for everyone else. Their affair unfolded like a painting, each moment layered with emotion and vulnerability. With him, I felt something I had never experienced before, a connection that transcended mere lust. We would spend long nights wrapped in each other's arms, our bodies intertwined, skin against skin. He would paint me, capturing my essence on canvas as I bared my soul to him. She shivered at the memory, a smile breaking through her earlier melancholy. He would study me with such intensity, as if trying to immortalize every curve, every freckle, every sigh. In those moments, I felt seen, truly seen, and it terrified me. But the sweetness of their connection was tinged with a bittersweet edge. "I think I loved him," she admitted, her voice barely above a whisper. "But love is a dangerous game, Leah. It makes you vulnerable, and I couldn't let myself be weak. So I walked away, leaving behind a piece of my heart with him. It was a decision that shattered me, but I had to protect myself." The fire crackled between us, casting flickering light on Mathilde's expressive features. I could sense her restlessness, the way she clawed at the edges of her desires, as if trying to break free from invisible chains. After him, I threw myself into more affairs, each one more reckless than the last. I sought the thrill of the chase, the fleeting moments of ecstasy, but I could never escape the ghost of the painter. As she spoke, I could see the fire in her eyes dimming, replaced by a shadow of longing. It's as if he left a mark on my soul that could never be erased, she confessed, her voice heavy with emotion. No matter how many lovers I took, I always returned to that memory. The warmth of his embrace, the way he made me feel alive. In the days that followed, Mathilde's restlessness grew more profound. She spoke of leaving her husband, of breaking free to find herself again. But deep down, I knew she was trapped in her own desires, caught in a cycle that was both exhilarating and suffocating. The last time I saw her, she was a shell of the woman I had come to admire. Her laughter had lost its luster, and the vibrant spark in her eyes had dimmed. "I feel like I'm on the edge of something," she said, her voice trembling. "But I don't know how to jump." "Maybe it's time to choose yourself," I urged, my heart aching for her. "You deserve to find fulfillment, to seek what truly makes you happy." She nodded, tears glistening in her eyes. "But what if I never find it?" she whispered, vulnerability spilling over. "Then at least you'll have tried," I replied gently, hoping to light a fire within her once more. Mathilde's journey was a poignant reminder of the duality of desire, a force that could elevate us but also entrap us. Even now, I often think of her, wondering if she has found her way or if she continues to roam, chasing shadows and fleeting moments of passion. In the end, Mathilde taught me that the pursuit of desire can be both exhilarating and perilous. It can make you feel alive, but it can also leave you hollow if you lose sight of what truly matters. And while I admired her courage to embrace her passions, I couldn't help but ponder the price she paid for her insatiable hunger for love and adventure. Mathilde's life was a web of desires, a search for something she could never quite grasp. She taught me that love and passion often exist in tension, pulling us in directions we may not fully understand. But her story leaves us with a question. Is it better to chase the fleeting highs of passion or to seek the steady warmth of love? I'd love to hear your thoughts. What do you think Mathilde should have done? Share your answers in the comments and let's explore this together. Thank you for joining me on Lovely. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and tune in next time for another story about the beautiful mess that is love. Until then, take care and cherish the connections in your life.